Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday, and it's the last Tuesday before Christmas.
It is.
We're nearly at Christmas Day.
Nearly Christmas Day.
And it's just been a bit of a weird Christmas.
It's been a weird weekend, hasn't it?
Let's be honest. Yeah. But enough of the weirdness.
Yes.
Let's
get onto the Bible, shall we?
Probably a good place to go, isn't it?
Okay, so today's reading is Proverbs 4, verses 20 to 24. So it's a nice short one again. My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free of perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips.
Proverbs is one of my favourite books in the Bible, and it's basically because it's a whole book full of good advice. It has little short segments of like, here's some good advice here, here's some good advice here, here's some good way to live. And I think that's really helpful, and it really reminds me of one of Paul's famous sayings of this is a trustworthy saying, where he then says a trustworthy saying, or a bit of good advice, or something that's really helpful. And so the advice that Proverbs gives us today is to guard our hearts above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Recently, we've been watching a terrible but brilliant American soap drama called Prison Break on Netflix.
It is bad. But it doesn't stop us watching it. That's the problem.
we're still invested in this mindless, irrelevant story. But anyway, you won't be surprised to hear that the main characters are trying to break out of prison. Okay, and so it's a story that we're following them through their life in prison, and it also follows the story of some of the guards as well. And there's one guard who's a pretty especially nasty guard.
Oh, he's horrible.
And he's called Brad. Okay, and we don't like Brad. Him. And he is basically nasty. He's really strict. He's really tough on all the inmates. He doesn't tolerate any nonsense. He doesn't look out for the inmates' best interests while still being firm like some of the other guards do.
Yeah, he's horrible, isn't he? But we can view passages in the Bible like this and revert to guarding our hearts like Brad guards those inmates. So we could lock our hearts down, not let anyone or anything else in, be tough on ourselves and think that would lead us to a godly life. Help us live a godly life. But actually the word guard in Hebrew can be interchangeably used with the word watchman, which is quite nice. So the other guards in the prison are much more like this watchman idea. So yes, they are guarding, they are stopping the prisoners escaping.
Or trying to, at least.
Trying to in this case. But by looking out for their best interests while still being firm, they can control their behaviour and their actions. Now, obviously, we are not in a really terrible American Netflix drama. We're not
Which we highly recommend.
Not in prison, we're not trying to escape prison, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the picture. We're not there. But as Christians, we can guard our hearts through filtering all these things, so our emotions, our actions, our desires, through God's word. So God is our watchman, and the only way that we can help have a truthful and helpful way of guarding our own hearts is with God's help and filtering all of our thoughts and desires and needs through God's word.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have a lovely Christmas.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon somewhere on one of the various
Probably on Christmas Day.
Probably.
At some point.
Yeah.
And then our Sunday service is online on the 27th. And after that, we've got another thought for the day. On the 29th, which we're recording now. After that, we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have a lovely Christmas. And we'll see you around soon.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.